Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about product rule, which is a really simple rule to find derivatives, and you are going to use this really anytime that you see an x being multiplied by another x. So before we really begin, I did want to preface that f in this case is going to mean the first function. The s is going to mean the second function. So the equation for product rule, y prime, which is a derivative, equals the f prime times regular s plus regular f times the derivative of s, or the second function. So I did want to go through an example because it is a little bit complicated at the beginning. So here you can see that we have the equation y equals 2x times x plus 3. So in this case, regular f is just going to be 2x, as I've labeled here. And we're just going to take the derivative of regular f, which we know is just the coefficient, so it's just going to be 2. Then we're going to do the same thing with the second function, x plus 3. So that is just going to be regular s, and then the derivative of s will just be 1, taking into account the trig. So now we're going to go into actually solving using the product rule. So we know that this is going to equal y prime. So now we have to take the f prime, which we found was 2, times regular s, which we found was x plus 3, plus regular f, which was 2x, as we saw from the original equation, times the derivative of the second function, which we found was 1. So now you just distribute all the coefficients, and you find that this all equals 2x plus 6 plus 2x. And so now obviously 2x and 2x have the same value at the end, so we can combine those like terms, and we see that y prime equals 4x plus 6, and that is your answer. And so now we're going to move into the quotient rule, which is a very similar rule. But you're really going to use this especially when you see a lot of equations in fraction form. So here's just an example. So again, we're going to be using the high is just the equation on top, and low is going to mean the equation on bottom, and d is just going to stand for derivative. So you're going to use this really anytime that you see an equation in fraction form. And so here's just the equation for the quotient rule. So it is y prime, the derivative, equals the low equation times the derivative of the high equation minus the high equation times the derivative of the low equation, all over the low equation squared. So an easy way to remember this is low d high minus high d low, all over low low. We made a quick song about that in calculus, and it really helped to remember this, at least for me. So here's just an example. So here is an equation, x squared plus 2 all over x plus 1. So our high equation is x squared plus 2, it's just regular, and the derivative of the high equation is just 2x, taking into account the derivative trick. And then the low equation is x plus 1, and the derivative of the low equation is just 1. So now we can start plugging in our equations and our values into the quotient rule equation. So we see that it is x plus 1 times 2x minus x squared plus 2 times 1. And all of that is going to be over x plus 1 squared. And all of that equals y prime. And so now you just start distributing regularly, just taking into account all of your algebra rules. And we see that it simplifies to this at first. And then we can combine like terms even further, and we see that this all equals x squared plus 2x minus 2 all over x plus 1 squared, and that equals your derivative. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned a little bit more about product and quotient rule.